Welcome back to Real World English, everyone. I'm Hannah, and as always, I'm here with my co-host, Fred. And today's episode is one I've been really excited about. We're talking about job interviews in English.
In English, which, for a lot of our listeners, that's the double pressure, right? You're already nervous about the interview itself, and then on top of that, you've got to do it in your second language.
Exactly. And I love this quote that kind of sets the tone for today. Your skills are real. Your English just needs to match them. Because that's the thing. So many people out there are genuinely qualified, genuinely talented. But they walk into that room and the words just disappear.
The words go on vacation.
The words absolutely go on vacation. So today, we're going to fix that. We're going to walk through everything. Before the interview, the classic questions, how to structure your answers, what to ask the interviewer, how to close strong, and even the follow-up email.
And we're going to do a full mock interview at the end, which I'm a little nervous about, actually.
You should be. I'm going to be a tough interviewer. Okay, let's get into it. So, first things first. Before you even walk through that door, there's some English you need to know just for the logistics. Confirming the appointment, that kind of thing.
Right, and people skip this part. They focus so much on preparing answers that they forget, like, you might need to send an email to confirm the time, or call the receptionist, or, I don't know, ask where to park.
Okay, the parking thing is very specific, Fred.
I mean, I've been there. You show up flustered because you couldn't find a spot, and then your whole energy is off. It matters.
Fair point, fair point. So, let's say you get an email inviting you to an interview. You want to reply professionally, but also naturally. Something like, "Thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to confirm the interview on Thursday at 10 a.m. Please let me know if there's anything I should bring." Clean, simple, confident.
And notice she didn't say, I am so very pleased to be granted this opportunity. Sometimes learners go really formal, and it actually sounds a bit stiff.
Yes, natural is better than theatrical. And if you need to reschedule, which life happens, you can say something like, "I'm sorry, I have a conflict on that day. Would it be possible to reschedule for later in the week?" Polite, direct, no over-explaining.
No three-paragraph apology.
No three-paragraph apology. Now, what to bring? This is quick but important. You want to have copies, printed copies, of your resume or CV, depending on where you are in the world.
And it's always good to bring a list of references, even if they didn't ask for it. Shows you're prepared.
Totally. And honestly, bring a notebook and pen. It sounds small, but when you're sitting across from someone and you jot down the name of the department they mention or a project they bring up, it signals that you're engaged. You're listening.
It's a really simple trick. I wish someone had told me that earlier, honestly.
Okay, section 2. The questions everyone dreads. Let's start with the big one. Tell me about yourself.
Oh, the classic. And it sounds so easy, right? Like you've known yourself your whole life.
And yet, people either talk for 10 minutes straight or they freeze up and say, I am a hard worker.
I like my job.
Exactly. So here's the thing about tell me about yourself. They are not asking for your life story. They want a quick, professional snapshot. Think of it like where you've been, where you are now, and why you're here. Past, present, future. That's it.
So something like, I have 3 years of experience in customer service, and most recently I was working at a retail company where I managed a small team. I've been looking to move into a role with more responsibility, which is why this position really caught my attention. That's it. 60 seconds. Done.
Perfect. Now, the second dreaded question. What is your greatest weakness?
The trap question.
People think it's a trap. And you know what? The trap is in how you answer it. The mistake most people make is either saying something fake like, "Oh, I just work too hard."
Everyone hates that answer, by the way. Everyone.
Every interviewer rolls their eyes. Or, the other mistake is being brutally honest in a way that raises red flags, like, "I'm very disorganized." So, the move here is name a real weakness, but one that you're actively working on. I used to struggle with public speaking, so I've been taking a communication course, and I've noticed a real improvement over the last year. It's honest, it's self-aware, and it shows growth.
It shows you're not static. You're someone who identifies problems and works on them, which is exactly what a good employee does.
Exactly. Okay, third one. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
And the honest answer for most of us is, I have absolutely no idea.
I mean, same. But what they're really asking is, are you ambitious? And are you planning to stick around? So you want to show some direction without being so specific that it sounds like you're planning to take someone's job. Please don't say that. Something like, "I'd love to grow within this company and take on more responsibility over time. I'm really interested in developing my skills in project management, and I hope to be in a leadership role eventually." It's forward-looking, it's enthusiastic, and it connects to the job you're applying for.
And if you're genuinely unsure what the 5-year path looks like, it's okay to say something like, I want to keep learning and see where my strengths take me within this field. That's honest and still sounds motivated.
All right, section 3. And this one is a game changer, honestly. This is something I wish I had known way earlier. It's called the STAR method, and it's a framework for answering behavioral interview questions.
The ones that start with, tell me about a time when.
Yes, exactly those. Tell me about a time when you had to deal with a difficult colleague. Tell me about a time when you missed a deadline. Those questions. And STAR stands for situation, task, action, result.
So you set the scene. You say what your role was. You explain what you actually did. And then you say what happened because of it.
Right. And in natural English, it flows really nicely. So imagine they ask, "Tell me about a time you solved a problem under pressure." Using STAR, you might say, "Sure. Last year, our main supplier canceled an order 2 days before a big event. That was my situation. My task was to find a replacement quickly without going over budget. So I spent that afternoon calling 5 different vendors, negotiated a deal with one of them, and we got everything delivered on time. The event went smoothly, and my manager actually used it as an example of good crisis management at our next team meeting."
See, that's so clean. You know exactly where the story is going, it doesn't ramble, and it ends with a result that sounds impressive.
And the result part is so important. People leave it out. They tell the whole story and then just stop. You need to land the plane. What happened? What improved? What did you learn?
Land the plane. I like that.
Write it down. STAR. Situation, task, action, result. Practice it with 2 or 3 stories from your own experience before the interview, and you'll feel so much more confident. Okay, section 4. And this is one people really underestimate. At some point in almost every interview, the interviewer is going to flip it and say, "Do you have any questions for us?"
And the worst thing you can do is say no.
The worst thing you can do is say no. It makes you look like you don't care, or like you haven't thought about whether this job is actually right for you. You're interviewing them too, in a way.
I love that reframe. Because a lot of our listeners might come from cultures where you don't question authority. You don't ask the boss things. But in a job interview, in an English-speaking work context, asking questions is a sign of confidence and engagement.
Absolutely. So here are some great questions to have ready. What does success look like in this role in the first 6 months? That's a great one because it shows you're already thinking about how to perform well.
Can you describe the team I'd be working with? Shows you care about collaboration.
What are the biggest challenges someone in this position typically faces? Shows you're realistic. You're not naive.
And here's one I really like. How would you describe the company culture? Because honestly, that answer tells you a lot. If they pause for a really long time, maybe that's a red flag.
If they look at the ceiling for 10 seconds, maybe keep looking. And one more. What are the next steps in the process? Which actually leads us perfectly into section 5.
Okay, closing strong. The end of the interview. You've answered everything. You've asked your questions. Now what?
Now you close with intention. Don't just stand up and say, "Okay, bye." This is a moment to leave a lasting impression. First, thank them. It sounds obvious, but the way you do it matters. Don't just say, "Thanks." Say something like, "Thank you so much for your time today. I really enjoyed learning more about the role and the team."
And if there was a moment in the conversation that stood out to you, maybe they mentioned an exciting project or something about the team that resonated, bring it back. I especially liked hearing about the expansion into new markets. That sounds like exactly the kind of environment I want to be part of.
Yes, it shows you were listening. It shows the conversation meant something to you.
And then you ask about next steps. Very natural, not pushy. Could you let me know what the timeline looks like from here? Or, is there anything else you need from me at this stage?
Perfect. Confident, professional, and it keeps the ball in motion. And then, shake hands, make eye contact, smile, walk out the door, and let out the massive breath you've been holding.
In the elevator. Always in the elevator.
Okay, section 6, the follow-up email. And I cannot stress this enough. Send one within 24 hours.
So many people don't do this, and it's such an easy way to stand out.
It really is. Keep it short. 3 short paragraphs max. Here's roughly what it should look like. Paragraph 1. Thank them for their time. Dear Name, thank you for taking the time to meet with me yesterday. I really appreciated the opportunity to learn more about the role.
Paragraph 2. Reinforce your interest and connect something from the conversation. Our conversation about the team's approach to customer experience really resonated with me, and I'm excited about the possibility of contributing to that work.
And paragraph 3. A soft, confident close. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you need any additional information. I look forward to hearing from you.
That's it. You sign off with best regards or kind regards and your name.
No, I hope this email finds you well.
Please, not in a follow-up after you just met them. No.
Keep it warm, keep it real, keep it short. Okay, the moment Fred has been dreading. We're going to do a mock interview. Fred is applying for an entry-level marketing coordinator position at a mid-sized company. I am the interviewer, and listeners, follow along. Notice how Fred uses the language we talked about today.
I'm ready. I'm nervous, but I'm ready.
Okay, come in, have a seat. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this.
Great. So, tell me about yourself.
Sure. So I recently graduated with a degree in communications, and during my studies, I did an internship at a digital agency where I got hands-on experience with social media content and email campaigns. I've been looking for an entry-level role where I can keep building those skills, and when I saw this position, I thought it was a really strong fit.
Nice. And what would you say is your greatest weakness?
Honestly, I think I used to have trouble asking for help. I'd try to figure everything out on my own, and sometimes that meant things took longer than they needed to. I've really been working on that. I try to check in earlier now and flag if something's unclear rather than just pushing through.
Good. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I'd love to grow into a more senior marketing role, maybe specializing in content strategy or brand. I'm really interested in understanding what makes audiences connect with a brand, and I'd hope to develop that expertise here.
Can you tell me about a time you had to manage multiple deadlines at once?
Yeah, definitely. During my internship, I was finishing a project report while also managing the social media calendar for that week. And then a client requested an urgent content revision at the last minute. So I sat down, prioritized the most time-sensitive task first, communicated to my supervisor that the revision would take a couple of hours, and then worked through everything in order. I got it all done by end of day, and my supervisor mentioned afterwards that she appreciated how I'd handled the communication around it.
Great answer. Do you have any questions for me?
I do, actually. What does success look like in this role in the first few months? And I'd love to know a bit more about the team I'd be working with day to day.
And scene.
How'd I do?
You did great, honestly. The STAR method answer was clean. Situation was the internship crunch. The task was clear. The action was specific. And the result had that nice detail about the supervisor's feedback.
I tried to land the plane.
You absolutely landed the plane. And I love that you asked 2 questions at the end instead of just one. Very confident. Okay, let's wrap up. What are the big takeaways from today?
Confirm your interview professionally, bring what you need, and show up ready. Know your classic answers, especially tell me about yourself, your weakness, and your 5-year vision. Use STAR to structure behavioral answers. Ask at least 2 questions at the end. Close warmly and send that follow-up email.
That's it. That's the whole toolkit. And remember, your skills are real. Your English just needs to match them. And with practice, it will.
If you want to practice any of these questions, drop them in the comments. We'd love to see your answers.
And if this episode helped you, share it with someone who's got a big interview coming up. They'll thank you for it.
Good luck out there, everyone.
We're rooting for you. See you next time on Real World English. Bye!